And I think we are live. Let's check. Abdullah, Santiago, how are you guys doing? Can you hear me okay? Let me put that here. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if that's if we are live. Let's go. Buildersmark, Jay, how are you doing? Very good, thank you. Okay, so we are. So let's wait a little bit that a little bit more people come, and at the same time let me prepare this. It's gonna be a special stream today, a little bit different. I will explain why the background is different. So let me put that also. Let me prepare this. So who do we have? Oh, Josia is here. How are you, Josia? It's been a few stream, I think. It's great to see you back here. Very, very good. And then I will set up our giveaway, our new giveaway as always. Let me put that in. And then let me share that banner again. So don't forget, okay? Don't forget, enter I'm awesome in the chat. And then at the end of the stream, that's new for us. We started this 2 streams ago. At the end of the stream, we are going to have this this giveaway. So yeah, and also I didn't share. If some of you have Twitter, if you don't mind sharing the stream link, I didn't have time to share. So let me explain a little bit why is that different. So today is actually the day where we are moving our office from one part of Shanghai to the other part of Shanghai. So we are literally going from the very east to the very west. So today the office is completely empty and everything is in the truck on the way to the other office. So there's nothing in the new office. There's nothing in the old office. So that's why I'm currently in my living room, and that's why today is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a Reddit answering question. So my goal today is try to answer 100 questions. So I won't be able to type all the answer on Reddit. Maybe a few of them I'm going to do that, but today is just to try a little bit, going through all the problems that people have, and just doing this marathon of answering as many questions as we can. So okay, we have a lot of awesome people in joining us. Josia, random question: will there be a PA12 GF with similar property as PS6 GF? It's not in the pipeline yet. There is some. It could be a good idea, but we have to find out whether the adhesion between the fiber we are using for GF is good for our PA12. Comic Age is joining as well. Thank you for joining. Kevin Tucker, you're awesome. Brian is joining. We have Filthy Too Nasty. I'm awesome as well. Amish Nom joined us. Bilbermark, Twitter. Oh, thank you very much, Buildersmark. Maybe I should also let me see. Can someone just copy paste the stream URL in the chat so that I don't have to go back to YouTube, because I'm on StreamYard now. If you don't mind just copy pasting the link of the stream, then I will just do a quick tick. Oh, let me just retweet Buildersmark. That's perfect. Let me just retweet that. Join us now. Check. We are live. Join us now. Okay, thank you, Buildersmark. That makes it much easier. I just retweeted your tweet. Okay, so let me share this. Okay, so can you guys? Oh, Buana, how are you doing? We have some nice yeah, for everybody listening. We have some nice project coming with Buana. We're really excited to see that as well. Josia, I've noticed so far Polymaker has the most reliable filament. Thank you very much, Josia. We're working very hard to first understand properly the 3D printing process, and then design the filaments, understand customer need, and then combine all of this into our product. But I'm watching you, yeah. I think I joined your stream. Was it yesterday after we finished loading the truck because we are moving office, and I think it was written like ending stream or something like this. So I guess I just missed you like maybe a few minutes. Could be your outro. Okay, so what we are going to do. So yeah, can you just confirm you can see the Reddit screen, right? So what we are going to do, I won't be able to see the chat at the same time, but I will just go back and forth. So what I usually do on my free time, what I like to do is I go on this on this community. There's like 1.1 million people, and then I rank by new. And usually there will be a new filter by flare here that will be question. Yeah, question. And then I click on question. And then we have all of this. Then you have all of these questions. And what I like to do is, I just browse through all of these questions and I try to see whether I could have answered the question or not. So what I was thinking for today is we can just go through this question and just discuss them together. So some of them are more hardware related, which I'm less experienced with, but a lot of them are printing issues. So we can just go through the different posts, and then so I'm looking slightly below the camera because I will have to look at the screen, the screen. Josiah, what happens if you mix the FR in Polymax Pcfr in Polymaker ABS or ASA or CF nylon? So FR has two main change in terms of property. Of course, the FR property, so it will make the material flame retardant, and the second one, it will increase the modulus. So it's kind of minerals that you are mixing with the filament, so it's going to increase the modulus. That's why when you look at the TDS of Pcfr, the rigidity of the material is much higher than the regular PC. Okay, Rock Gumshield, how are you doing? Yeah, very good, very good. How are you? Don't forget, guys. Enter this in the chat, and at the end of the stream we'll draw one winner. Okay, so let's go. The first one, my extruder isn't threaded, so that looks like a more hardware related question, and it looks like he cannot enter the end of his Bowden tube into the extruder. Most likely maybe a hardware issue where maybe they forgot to thread this part. But this is very cheap actually. I don't know if it's because I'm in China, but if you buy this online, is very cheap. 0.4 nozzle on an E3D Volcano hot end, best setting for ABS. I'm getting pretty terrible layer adhesion with my recently upgraded Maker Select V2 with a Volcano hot end and ABS. So let's have a look at the picture. So they are talking about ABS. We know ABS is a more challenging material to print because of warping. So looking at this, so definitely some under extrusion going on. Under extrusion means temperature. So under extrusion means the viscosity is not low enough, which means the temperature is not high enough. And then it could be something related with there's a lot of experienced people that will print a material and then they are going to change their nozzle and then put back, well, like let's say experience in printing always the same material, and then they suddenly realize that even at printing at the same temperature, it will under extrude. And sometimes it can happen that when they change the nozzle, they actually untie the heat block from the nozzle, or somehow during the manipulation of the hot end, they are going to untie that heat block. So they are going to use the same temperature, let's say 210 for PLA, but the heat block will transfer less heat to the nozzle because of this because of the heat block being loose. and we had a lot of customers that had this issue. So the first thing I tell them is, so first, first, is the temperature high enough? So for ABS, 250, 260. I'm not afraid to going high, and then check if that solves the problem. So in this case, there's definitely like under extrusion going on, and also not a consistent extrusion. So you could have like some extruder skipping or something like this. So yeah, I would define this as under extrusion, and then I would give the list of stuff to do for under extrusion. This one, ripple and broken lines, first layer on the Prusa Mark III's. Let's see if there is any picture. Yeah, there is. So okay, so that's another thing that yeah, this is also very common on your first layer. You may have seen this this kind of ripple. So in 3D printing, what's going to happen is, you see it's pretty smooth before, and what's going to happen is, if you have one small imperfection, it will just get exponential as you continue. So if we look closely, we should be able to find the beginning. Let's say, so here is a little bit blurred, but it seems to be pretty smooth. And then let's check. So it looks like, you see here, if we pinpoint around here, there is a small imperfection, and that imperfection is basically going all the way here. And you can also see, like, when it's printing, the slicer is going to calculate a certain extrusion width, right, according to the layer height. So if you are extruding, if the nozzle is a little bit too close to the bed, then you will extrude slightly more. Let's say your extrusion width was 0.42, and your nozzle is slightly closer to the bed that it should be. Then it will extrude the same amount of filament to fill that volume. But as you have squished the Z offset, then you will have to increase the extrusion width in order to compensate the lack of Z height. And the fact that you have now a wider width, and then you will accumulate this, so you will have like accumulation of material, and then that will give this issue. So this is almost 100% bed leveling. So if you want a very, very nice first layer, then bed leveling is one of the most important factor. So most likely the ripple here come from that. The next one is, does anyone know why the layer on top stop extruding? So for this kind of thing, so most likely, I have my setup with the light. Okay. So for this one, it will be most likely, so it looks like it was extruding well. So if it's extruding well, it means that the temperature was fine, viscosity was fine, no problem with the hot end, but suddenly it stopped extruding. If it's sudden, there might be two reasons. Reason number one, heat creep. Maybe the temperature increased and then kind of creep to the like went to the cold end, and then the filament is going to expand, and then will suddenly, not suddenly, but will slowly jam. So it will start to under extrude, and then finally just stop extruding. In that case, it looks like it's very, very sudden. So I would diagnose a clog. A clog meaning that there will be something that will directly block the nozzle. And if we look closely, it looks like he's printing with a glitter filament. There is like some glitters. So most likely during the print, you will have glitters accumulating, and it looks like at some point there is a layer where it just clogged the whole nozzle. So for this one, I would recommend maybe a cold pour in order to remove that mass of accumulation of glitters. And second, I would suggest to increase the temperature in order to lower the viscosity of the filament, so that there is no accumulation of glitters. And if it continue happening, maybe the filaments have some glitters that are too big be printed. So I would recommend to upgrade, or not upgrade, but to change to a 0.6 nozzle. So when we design our Galaxy filaments, we have a how do you call that already? I forgot the name, but it's basically you filter all the glitter through this thing. I don't remember how you call that, and then you make sure that the size of each glitter is I think below 0.2 or 0.1. I don't remember, but yeah, there is a lot of work to do in order to design a Galaxy filament that is easy to use. But even that, we still suggest people to use 0.6 to really remove any issue, because even if you only have a 0.1 or 0.2 glitters, it can still accumulate and then create a clog. So that would be for this one. Guidance on the temperature tower. Okay, so what kind of guidance he would need? Okay, so there's no question, just guidance. Let me check some other picture, maybe. Let's check the second picture. Okay, so he's basically showing. Okay, so guidance meaning what's our judgment on which temperature is the best. So usually temperature tower will show different thing. I guess the most important first is whether the filament can print or not. So at this point, it looks like all the floors were printed. So whether it's good quality or bad quality, at least they were printed. So the filament can be extruded from at least 185 degree to at least 220 degree. So and then the second one is whether the cooling is good. So you can see the surface quality. The bridging is one indicator whether your cooling is good or not. But what I like to see is more the surface quality. The surface quality is really showing you whether the material cools properly or not. Because the bridging, you know, sometimes you don't have any good floor that has good bridging. But in this case, I mean, I don't see major difference. If you don't see any major difference, then just go for the highest temperature so that you have a strong print. But to be honest, even the stringing, you know, oh yeah, you see this kind of string, like the kind of hair that you see here. This is not stringing, not oozing. It's at least as I defined it in the other stream. This is, I call this hairs. I don't know how to call it, but this come from the fan. It's actually when you're printing, the fan is going to blow pieces of plastic, and then it will become that string. A little bit like how do you call that? If you translate from French, is the dad beard. You know, that kind of candy, like the pink candy. And then from sugar, you put sugar, and then there's like this kind of fibers. So this is a little bit the same, like with the fan, and then it will just create that hair. So this is very easy to remove with a heat gun. But yeah, just you can solve that bit. I don't know if he has some Z-hop or he has some very strange traveling, but that fan is going to blow those small pieces of polymer and then create those strings. But yeah, guidance and temperature tower, I'm not too sure what's the question. Yeah, again, if you have a question, you can put it in the Polymaker community, and then I will answer those first. But it seems that we don't have question for today. And if we ask question, it's always good to have pictures and to be a little bit detailed. Like, for example, here, guidance on temperature tower. I wish I could guide, but I'm not really sure what he's looking for. Is he looking to improve his temperature tower? Is he looking to have us giving the judgment on which temperature looks the best, etc. So let me switch back a little bit to the chat. So cotton candy floss, cotton candy or candy floss, cotton candy. Okay, yeah, cotton candy. You know that those big pink thing that yeah, candy stuff. looks like your Bowden tube problem, maybe. Okay, Matt German, maybe new problem and clear it out. Okay, I'm awesome. A lot of awesome. I found bridging is almost strictly based on part cooling fan setup. Bridging, to improve bridging, yes, cooling is important. Oh, actually, I remember I can do that. So the note from Collie Logan was I found bridging is almost strictly based on part cooling fan setup. It is, but I also found that it's highly dependent on the nozzle path. So, for example, on Simplify 3D, we have a special bridging one. So he's not going to use the bottom layer setting. So if you need to bridge from here to here, he will usually do like back and forth between the two islands. It's not gonna do the outer the outer perimeter and then filling at a 45-degree angle. So I think the way you're printing the bridge is also very important. Yeah, sorry if I missed some of the question. We need to answer 100 of them today, so I didn't count, but we have to go very fast. We have to be efficient. Storing filament. Can I leave my roll of filament out on my table, or do they need to be sealed? It will depend on the filament. We as a company always recommend to store the filament properly. That's why we provide a resealable bag. And if you have noticed, you have all our PLA that is coming in a nylon bag. So the nylon bag is the transparent one, and pretty much all the other, maybe except ABS, maybe, but all the other are coming in an aluminum bag. And I will tell you something. The nylon bag is actually, it is good, but it still leaves the moisture through, rather than the aluminum bag is much more efficient. So any material, the moisture can go through. It's just a question of time. But for the aluminum bag, it takes years before moisture can go through, rather than the nylon bag can start to affect the filament inside after maybe a year or two. I don't remember the testing report, but that's why we moved most of our filament to aluminum bags, so that it can be stored much longer. But the rule of thumb is, if it's a PLA, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The most important is the sun. If you just store it in a drawer or somewhere, even let's say without resealable bag, it should be fine. We have a lot of filament laying around in our office, and sometimes maybe it's 1 year old, and we just put it on the printer and it's printing well. It can be more brittle because of aging. So it is possible that when you take the filament, the few first meter will break because the outer layer may have aged more than the inner layers. But after that, you can use it properly. But the best is to reseal everything. My 3D prints either are perfect or fail on the first layer. Okay, so it's black or white. Let's check that one. What's the detail? My first prints, my 3D prints either are perfect or fail on the first layer. Okay, come on. Okay, let me just read the summary here. I've had an Ender 3 Pro for about 2 years and printed things off on use Cura. I sliced my print with, but I have to either perfectly, fail almost immediately. I tried playing with the setting, blah blah blah. Can describe. Yeah, I mean this one is very hard. He's printing on the Ender 3. He's using Cura. He tried a lot of setting, and sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. And he doesn't know why. Blah blah blah. Yeah. For this one, that's going to be hard. Either I'm going to answer and give all the possible options, or either it's better that he can give a little bit more information of what type of fail he has, or like in this case, what I would ask is, if you print the same G code, would it sometimes fail, sometimes not? And if it fails, is there a way to diagnose why? Is that like I print a few layers and then fail, or is that it doesn't start, or this kind of thing? So, for example, we had our S1, the Creality S1. We received it in the office, we printed it, was fine, and then suddenly we printed the same G code, and it wouldn't even start. Like we would click start print, and then it would raise the temperature, and then when the temperature target was reached, it wouldn't start printing, and we couldn't figure out why. And then what I did is I just I upgraded my Cura. I downloaded the latest version, and then I resliced, and now it's working properly. So sometimes you can solve a problem without even knowing what was the problem, which sometimes is a little bit frustrating, I have to say. I would really like to know why it was, once it reached the temperature target, it should have go to the next line in the G code, and I don't know why the next line of the G code was not executed. So this one I don't know. Looking to upgrade. I want to upgrade my son's Anycubic Viper hot end and extruder, blah, blah. Okay, so that's more on hardware suggestion. Cura making entire models solid. So I model a small slot in Blender, and it shows fine in Cura, but when I slice it, the preview shows that it feels all the details, make it solid, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's check the picture. I think I have an idea of what's going on. Okay, while it's loading, let me go back to the chat a little bit. Everything is awesome in Builder's Mark. Yeah, everything is awesome. Okay, so it doesn't do this if I scale it down below 75. So I model a small slot in Blender, and it shows fine in Cura. But when I slice it, the preview shows that it fills in all the detail and make it all solid. It doesn't do this if I scale it down below 75%. I checked in Blender, and all the normal are facing the correct way. I can't find anything online. Can anyone help? Oh, okay, I understand. So there might be, yeah. So I'm also using Blender, and I did have this issue. I think the most important is that Blender is not very good at making at helping you to make the model non-manifold. So I usually have this issue when I have a small vertices or an edge that is not supposed to be there, and then when they are slicing, they are just depending on the scale, depending on your layer height. Then if that imperfection goes into the algorithm of slicing, then it will mess up the slice. So what I would recommend is go back to Blender and make sure the your model is non-manifold. And by non-manifold, I mean there is also no crossing faces, because this is another thing Blender is not very good at, is when you want to combine two shapes, you have to use, instead of joining them, there is a join button. You have to use union so that it becomes one model instead of two models that are joined together. And yeah, so that's what I would recommend, because I got this issue also. I had experience with this issue. Converting .mesh file to OBJ or STL from video game. Yeah, there is already great software that do that. One of them, we work with them, but it was a couple of years ago. I don't remember the name, but you could export the 3D model from the video game, and then you could 3D print, and then that software would make it 3D printable. Because on the video game they are obviously not 3D printable because there is animation, so they don't have they don't union all the 3D the 3D model. So that software would do that, and then you could 3D print it. This seems to be happening a lot on a lot of my prints. Any advice on how to fix it? So what is happening? Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he is using an Ender 3. I think I know what's happening. Let me check. Yeah, it would be great to mention at least the material and the printer to have an idea. But I'm pretty sure it's the Ender 3 or any Ender 3 clone would have this issue. Let me check. The extruder might be sleeping, blah, blah, blah. The printing lines will break, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there is no mention of the printer. But I guess what he's complaining about is the fact that it's over extruding on the first layers. And this happened to me a lot with when you have the gantry that is sleeping. So basically on the Ender 3 you will have you only have the z-axis on one side, right? And then you will raise that size, and then the other part has to follow. But sometimes what's happening is if it's too tight, or if you have like flat wheels, then only one part will raise and then the other part will have difficulty and then will follow later. So what's going to happen is that the first few layers are going to be printed almost at the same height, and then once you have that, when you will reach equilibrium, and then it will start to raise at the same time. So I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. A good way to check that is to check the z height of your model. You check what it was supposed to be and what it is, and if it's shorter, then there might be this issue where the z-axis is not raising as it should be. And if you check here, I'm pretty sure the hole is supposed to be in the middle of the model, but I kind of think that the left part is smaller than the right part. So I'm pretty sure the left part was supposed to be wider, or at least as wide as the left part, the right part. So I guess that's the issue. Next, first benchy on Ender 3 V2 feedback. Oof, okay, let's have a look at this benchy. Not the best benchy as I've seen, but if it's the very first print that he has done, I think if it's the very first print that, like, first printer, first filament, first print, and you get something that looks like what you wanted, then it's already an achievement. But let's have a look. Okay, a couple of things are going on, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it looks like to me that it's definitely a cooling issue, I would say. Let me check. Yeah, okay. Okay, I received a message. Is that I'm still on? Yeah, I should be still live. Shouldn't be a problem. So, okay, yeah. I think it's a cooling issue. So he may be, so he's printing on the Ender 3. Let me check if there's a comment. Looking. Okay, so I don't know if it's a joke or not, but let's try to diagnose. Let's say when I try to diagnose this, even if it's a joke or I don't know, but I'm thinking, if I want to have the same result, what should I do? Because whether you are tweaking your setting to make a good print or whether you're tweaking your setting to make a bad print, for me it's the same. It means you can control the quality of your print. If you are able to do neither, like both of them, then it means you can really control your slicer and your printer. So if I want to do this, well, the first thing I'm gonna do is I will print without the cooling fan, and then let me think. I would under extrude a little bit, and then I would put the outer shell. I would print the shell before the infill. If you do all of this, you should be able to achieve this result. So in that case, yeah, a little bit difficult to say, but yeah, I would suggest maybe checking the fan, especially if this is a PLA. I would suggest, yeah, I think the fan should be the biggest one. You can see here the overhang. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the edge of the benchy, the overhang here is definitely a problem with the cooling. So what make me doubt about the cooling is because the surface quality is pretty nice. So yeah, I would say cooling. I would bet on cooling. Next one, since last Cura update, PLA is not going to the nozzle. Any suggestion, please? Since the last update, PLA is not going to the nozzle. Let's check. Oh, okay. So it's skipping. We can see here it's going in and then it's going out, and then we check the extruder. Is it skipping or is it retracting? Oh, it's retracting. Oh, no, it's going the other way. You see, you can see it's actually retracting. So it's actually extruding the other way and then retracting the other way. So yeah, I don't know what's well, I think if we know that, then we just check the maybe the G code. Maybe there is minus where there should be plus, or there is a plus where there should be minus. But definitely, it seems that it's behaving properly, but just on the like the opposite way, which is not properly. How do I get rid of this PLA imprint on my glass print bed? I've tried isopropanol and scrubbing. It feels like it's affecting my bed adhesion. Okay, so if you want to get rid of this, very easy. You put the plate on the printer. You raise the temperature to 60 or 70 degree. That will soften all the PLA particles. And then you take your a piece of cloth with IPA, and then you rub. You do have to rub how do you say very strongly, like a good rub, and then it should be gone. The most important, heat up the build plate. Otherwise, it's pretty much impossible to get rid of this mark. So again, heat up the build plate and then just rub with IPA, and then it will get rid of this. Next one. What are some good alternate sites for STLs? So that we used to have Thingiverse. Now there is Fangs 3D. That is pretty good. Cult 3D, My Mini Factory. What else? Do you guys have some other Thingiverse, Fangs 3D, Cult 3D, My Mini Factory? My Mini Factory. Is there any other? I think there's one more. I don't remember. Oh, there is a Prusa. I think Prusa printer has also models. And the good thing about Prusa printer is they also have, I don't know if it's for all the models, but I think each model can also be printed directly on your Prusa. Like you don't have the STL. You can just get the G code. And I think yeah, at least that's the one that come to my mind. Let me check the chat if you guys have some other ideas. Yegi, yeah, also. Thanks, Prusa printer. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's mainly the main one. If we continue, CAD STL for Tokyo Marine 1911 slide and frame, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if that's a question. Warping at base of print. Oh, I was wondering, when are we going to see a warping question? So here we go. I'm using an Anycubic model 4 key with the sun. Oh, 4 key. So that means that's SLA, right? Or DLP, or I don't remember what's the this particular model is using. But yeah, I'm not experienced at all with resin printing. I should be, actually. I should try a little bit of SLS and resin printing. What's my mistake, please? I wanted to print many at once, but it started to become crappy, expecting to go 40 centimeter tall. Should I put them on the plate? What's that question? And sorry for my English reading, by the way. What's my mistake, please? I wanted to print many at once, but it started to become crappy, expecting to go 40 centimeter tall. Should I put them on the plate? Yeah, I don't understand. So, okay, so let's make some hypotheses. So he wants to print a lot of 40 centimeter tall prints and at once, and it started to become, yeah, I don't understand the question. Usually I don't really like printing many things at once. If you haven't made sure that you can print one properly. The reason is you are going to print 20 of them, and then you leave that overnight, and you come back and then only one failed. But if only one failed, most likely the 20 of them would have been affected by that one. Let's say you have one on one side of the bed that was that was not leveled properly, like it was like this, and then that one would have messed up all the other one. And yeah, actually, I do have pretty bad experience with printing a lot of things at once. And now I decide to have a more automated system. Like, for example, if you go and check 3DQ from Canada, they have a way where you print one by one, and then you just scrap the build plate, one scrap. So I think this is more effective. And also, if you have many at the same time, the thermal history for each one would be I don't think it would be very ideal for strength, like good layer adhesion. And also you might have additional oozing and stringing issue to deal with. Overall, not always my best choice to print multiple things at the same time. Let's go to the next one. Is the base supposed to look like that, or do I need to recalibrate it? Also, the filament keeps leaking out a lot right before it starts to print. Okay, so I think this guy may be towards his beginning of 3D printing journey. So I think he's talking about the raft, which I think the raft is supposed to be like this. So I think there is no problem on there. And then do I need to calibrate? I don't think so. I think the print looks actually pretty good. I think that's the dog that is also coming in dual color. I really like that series. I think there's a turtle, there's a dog, and there's another one. A pretty nice series of model. Also, the filament keeps leaking out, so I think he's talking about the purging at the beginning, which is also normal. So yeah, I would just answer that. No worries. Your print is going very well, actually. Next one. Any quality of life improvement advice? Quality of life. I've noticed I haven't been printing nearly as much as I want because I spend so much time fixing the printer, making sure the bed is level, etc. I have a CR10S. Is there anything I can buy or install to help with this? Well, maybe first thing, if you spend a lot of time leveling the bed, it means there is a part of the process that will always mess up the bed leveling. And usually it's because people try to remove their print on the bed. And usually, you know, they use the scraper and then they are like forcing on the bed, and that messes up a little bit the printer. So what I would recommend is always, you know, gently remove the print bed and then work on your print bed, remove, and then put it gently back on the printer. And that should really limit it should really limit how it will affect your bed leveling. I don't know what etc. means. Like, I don't know if you have what other issue you have, but talking about bed leveling, yeah, that's the thing. If you keep leveling your build plate, it means there is a part of the process that always mess up that leveling, and then you need to do again and again. So try to find out which part of the process will unlevel your build plate, and that should be one first improvement for your quality of life. Anyone knows how this happened? What is happening? So I suppose it's not. It was not designed like this. Is that what's happening? Is it supposed to be just a smooth cylinder? Yeah. Again, when you ask a question, try to let me see the other picture before I go ahead. Maybe he is showing how it's supposed to look. Because if you're asking, you know, how does this happen, then at least you should show, you know, how it was. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. So I guess it's supposed to look like the right side, and then somehow he has this kind of layers happening. That's my guess. I don't really know where this could come from, but it looks like first there is a pattern. So it's something regular. So yeah, so that's one indication. Somehow it's in. Let me check. Yeah, looks like that has something to do with how high it is. Yeah, I would maybe look at. Let me think. Maybe the XY. the XY axis, maybe check if all the belts are well tensioned. I don't think that's this issue though. I'm not too sure. Like the first thing that come to my mind is one of the video from Stefan CNC Kitchen, where he changed from Bang Bang to PID, if I remember well, if that's the proper name, and to hit the bed, and then he wouldn't give these things like this. But that's pretty severe actually. So I'm not too sure is that the issue, but yeah, in this kind of case, I don't want to think too much because I don't even know, which part should look like what. Is it the right part that is supposed to look like the left part, or the left part that is supposed to look like the right part? I have hypotheses, but if I do a whole thinking process and diagnose the issue, and finally it was the other way around, then it's not very efficient. So again, the more accurate the question and the more accurate the answer. Let me go back to the chat a little bit. Oh, it looks like we have loyal Moses that joined us with a big I'm awesome. Great. Z bending. Yeah, Rock Game Shield. I do think so. Use the call LM Show to be awesome. Yeah. What do we have? Could be a bed adhesion issue. Yeah, Collie Logan. That's great. I don't know which one you're talking about, but if you are talking about the last one, we just check. It could be, yeah, the fact that it's kind of moving around while it's printing because one part was not stick very well. Could be. Blah blah blah. Okay, rearranging the letters in Buana spells awesome. Okay, let's continue. How can I solve this problem? Okay, what problem? Okay, a V2, Ender 3 V2 with CR Touch. PETG, I'm new in the world of 3D printing. I wanted to start with PETG, no flexibility. At the beginning, today I printed this benchy with some setting, and I found in a post of this group, blah, 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 and it turned out decent. It was not for loose material, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Looks like a beginner. It's very, very important to help beginners because that's their first impression of 3D printing. So we need to give them proper support. Okay, so let's have a look at the benchy first. Ooh, you guys remember the benchy we just saw before, right? So okay, now we have a much better picture. So now I think I know what's going on. What's going on now is the shell don't stick to each other, and this main issue come from the overhang. So definitely here, cooling. What was his setting? He was talking about 33% fan. Increase that to maybe 50 to 60% and increase your extrusion multiplier. I think if you increase a tiny bit, that will help extruding a little bit more. That will help each shell to bond to each other, and that will definitely help this benchy to look better, especially that first overhang. You see the first layer here at the bottom of the chimney. Then that's the most important. If that layer is not printing properly, none of the layer above will. So that's the most important. And the way you print that is a good cooling, a little bit over extruding, or a little bit higher temperature, so that it bonds more easily to the inner shell, and then you will solve that problem. So fortunately, something that should be easy to solve. So it's good that there is already some discussion going on. Every print. Oh, by the way, I will just share a feeling with you. There is something that I call trouble sniping. So I don't know if it's because of my French mindset, but when I hear troubleshooting, it means you have some trouble and you kind of shoot at the trouble until you get rid of it. That's kind of how I see it. And what I call trouble sniping means you have a trouble, and then with one comment, you just snipe that problem. And what I like is I actually have another account, which is not a Polymaker account, but it's my personal account. And I like when I answer with one comment, and then I wake up in the morning and then I see the answer, and the answer is, oh, I fixed my problem, or oh, it's 100% solved, or blah blah blah. And I love that. I will give you some other example. But if you guys have, let's do that. If you guys have trouble sniping, if you are able to do that, you just screenshot and you share it on Twitter or any social media, and you tag Polymaker, and then I will try to reward this trouble sniping. It has to come from you, right? You have to find, go through Reddit or any other forum, find a problem, you give one comment, and then the next comment is, I fixed my issue, or thank you very much, everything is fine. And then you screenshot those, like what's the problem, your answer, and then the answer of the answer, and then just post that. I will post a few so that you can have an example. But the feeling is so amazing when you wake up in the morning and then you have all of these comments that, oh, I solved my issue, and that really. And it's good practice. It's good practice to help people around solving their 3D printing issue. You can really increase your experience. Okay, so what was the next one? Every print refuses to adhere to my bed. Okay, every print. Let's check. Every print I try to make never adheres to the bed and just clamps around the nozzle. I've done the paper thing. Okay. The paper thing, I guess, is the calibration with the business card. 5 times, and I get what I think is perfect leveling, and it refuses to adhere to the bed, and it just clamps around the nozzle and blah, blah, blah. Clear base setting. Okay, so the paper thing is great to have the build plate level, but there is more than level. After it's level, it has to be at the right distance from the nozzle. So what if you have the build plate that is nozzle here, that is level at this level, and then you have the nozzle that is printing here? Then you can have the most level build plate ever. It's still not gonna stick. So try to lower the Z offset, or at least try to lower the first layer printing. And second, if your material does not adhere to the build plate, increase the temperature. Let's say for PLA, increase the temperature to 220, 225 for the first layer. Decrease the printing speed to 30 millimeters per second. Decrease the acceleration if you can, if it's easy for you to change it in your slicer. And let me think. Make sure it's level, and there is no oil. So a clean build plate. So clean build plate doesn't mean like it looks clean. When I say clean build plate, means there's no oil. Any oil will really mess up your print. But if it's full of glue and then things from the other print, that doesn't really matter. Most important is no oil. And then the nozzle is close to the build plate. Like if your layer height is 0.2, try to be at 0.1, 0.12. If you have this and it still doesn't stick, then you can, something wrong somewhere. And then we can diagnose more. But in 99% of the case, if you do all of this, like push the boundary of the temperature, print very, very slow, it compromises on a lot of things, but at least it should stick to the build plate. Blah blah. Okay, so so you see this answer. Printer, make, model, bed type, bed cleaning, filament type, blah, blah, blah. So for me, this is not trouble sniping. This is troubleshooting. Means you start to shoot there, and then at some point you will get rid of the trouble. But what I like is, with only the information you have received, you make all of these hypotheses and you try to come up with the perfect answer. I mean, I'm not talking about a book, right? But the most efficient answer that will solve the problem. Let me go back to the chat a little bit. Hello from a local maker, MI, Michigan. Is that Michigan? Yeah, I don't know any state in the US, but MI, yeah, maybe Michigan, or maybe it has nothing to do with the state. Local maker, is that a makerspace? Is that a local makerspace, or is that just the name? We have non-fam that joined as well. I miss almost all the stream. Don't worry. We are still far from the 100 question, but we'll try to get there. I didn't even count, but I think we are less than 20. I think. Problem with warped print bed. Okay, so it's not the print that is warping, so it's the print bed. Let's have a look here. And actually, I just realized that when I opening a new, oh, I just realized you guys didn't tell me when I'm opening a new tab with the picture, you guys are not seeing anything, no? Let me check. If I do like this, then you're not seeing. But if I open here, then you guys are seeing, right? Okay, you guys haven't even told me, or maybe I missed that. No way. Well, fortunately, some of them I clicked on the same tab. Some of them I opened a new tab. Well, let's say I'm still new to live stream, right? But okay, now I will open everything on the same tab. Oh my god! So did you guys miss so many picture of the print, like the benchy stuff? Did you guys miss that? Okay, yeah, sorry for that. Let me please forgive me. I'm still new. I'm still learning, but I'm getting there. Okay, let's talk about that one. Problem with warp print bed. The print bed seems to be warped in a way that in the middle sticks out slightly more than the side, so it's impossible to print anything with bigger first layer than the bottom of a soda can with a bigger first layer. But the only tips I could find about fixing a warped bed without buying a new one was for the ones that were warped, so the middle was deeper. So is there any way of fixing this that I haven't found? Okay, so if you have a warped bed, there is two ways to fix depending on how severe is the problem. If the warping is less than 0.1 or 0.2 or even maybe 0.3, you can compensate this by having a very, very thick first layer. So if you have a big layer, then you have very thick first layer. So it's gonna under extrude where it's closer, and it's gonna over extrude when it's further away from the nozzle. So that's one way to fix. That's actually the purpose of the raft. So before everyone was printing with a raft. I mean, it came by default, and the main reason was if the bed was not leveled or if there's any problem, then you compensate everything with the raft. So the first thing is print a raft, like print a very thick. The raft base is a very thick layer, and then this will compensate any issue. But if it's warped like crazy, then you can invest into a BL Touch or any automatic leveling, and they are going to take multiple points, like let's say 32 points, and then they are going to build a map of your build plate, and then you put that in your slicer. I think Cura is doing this, and then when they are going to print, they are actually going to follow the bed. So it's not ideal, but it's a way to fix. So that's my two recommendation to fix the issue. But I would highly recommend just to buy a new one if you don't want to go. Oh, I closed the wrong one. But I would recommend to buy a new one. So let me share again because I closed the tab. Let me do that. Okay, we are back. So okay, let's go back. Continue. Can I go back? Yeah. Let me check the chat a little bit. I like interactive with you. I had the artillery Signwinder for a few months that had a very warped bed. Had to put tape under the middle, and it was still off by a lot. Yeah. Actually, that's not a bad idea. You can try to compensate with that blue painter tape. That's not a bad idea. Actually, I did that. I had a build take, and then I removed a PC print from the build take, and I tear off part of the build take. And what I did is I put a lot of painted tape inside the hole, and so that it would fill the hole when I was printing the first layer. The problem though is that you will have a warped part. Yeah, Josiah, yeah, that's correct. If you are using the software compensating idea, then the part will look will actually follow the bed. So if the bed is seriously warped, then the print will be seriously strange. Spacers. I guess try replacing the print surface. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to go. I ended up only printing on one side. On one side, yeah. That's another solution. If you have one part of the build plate that is messed up, then you just use the other part of the build plate. Warped bed, just print on glass. Warped bed, just print on glass. Oh, so you mean? Sorry, what do you mean? Let me put that question on the screen. Warped bed, just print on glass. So do you mean glass cannot warp? That's why you suggest to print on glass? I'm not too sure. I would. I did have experience with warped glass as well. So I'm not too sure if that was your meaning, but yeah. Same with TPU. I have PEI on glass or painted tape on glass. Yeah, actually, there's so many now different build plate that you can use. I don't know if one will come up with the best build plate. Have we went back to the beginning? Oh, there's already a question. I mean, check this out. 26 minutes ago, 28 minutes ago, 31 minutes ago, 50. I mean, we have like 4 to 5. Like, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, let's say 4 to 5 questions per hour. That's 1.1 million members. That's a lot of questions that needs to be answered. Raspberry, okay, so that's more hardware. Do I need to do any precaution before painting? Okay, so usually painting, you do need the layers, or depending on the filament you're using. If you're using Polyterra, it's pretty easy. But Polylight PLA, let's say regular PLA, you would have to send the part, or to prime the part, or to at least use a filler before the painting. Because when you paint on regular PLA that is not post-processed, it's gonna look so ugly. The paint is going to be absorbed between the layers, and then it will highlight all the layers. So that's what I would suggest. Or I can see that your part has a lot of detail, so you can try ABS or Polysmooth, and then you can smooth the part chemically, which is much easier than sending every single detail. And once you have that smooth part, you just put a primer, and then you can start to paint. I'm not a big expert in painting though, so okay. So let's try to go back. Oh, let's count a little bit. How many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh, only 26. Okay, yeah, I guess 100 was I talked too much actually. I think that's the problem. Acquired a mostly assembled 3D printer. What step should I follow to get it working? Oof. Well, it would depend on how far the build is. Let's check. The printer appears to be an Anycubic custom. Ooh, look, we are far from I assume I have mostly likely killed the screen. Is there a way to test the printer through USB? What step? Okay, yeah, this is too long. This is way too long, and looks like it's more hardware related. Problem. Oh, actually, we were here. Cheapest FDM printer that actually works. Well, without reading, I think the Ender 3, or maybe the Anycubic. The Anycubic, is that the Viper? How much is that one? Or the what's the name already? The Flashford just got a new printer from. What's the name already? Let me check. I think I have the name somewhere. What's the name already? Let me. I have it. I have it. Few second. Here you go. Here you go. Voxel Lab. Yeah, Voxel Lab is also pretty cost effective. I know these three because I'm trying to get them to the LM show. So I try to find, you know, what would be the most cost effective printer, quality, price to get introduced to 3D printing. So yeah, so let's not read that's my answer for cheapest FDM printer. Multi-material with 2-in-1 hot end. Oh, that looks interesting. Let me check. Would it be able to use a dual extruder setup that shares one heater block nozzle for multi-material, pursuing that both material can be printed with the same thing? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's so many way you could use one hot end and multiple materials, even if they don't use the same setting, but it's just more troublesome. But yeah, you can. I mean, you can use the palette, for example. You can use the MMU. You can use well, I guess in terms of technology, I guess that's the two main technology before going to multiple hot end. How can I make it so that my Ender 3 Pro allows me to print this part? It has enough space on the build plate, but Cura doesn't let me print. 0.7 millimeter too big. Yeah, so that should be easy. Usually Cura is going to take a margin. I think Loyal explained this during one of his stream. If you print with dual extruder, one extruder will be able to reach a certain area, the other extruder will be able to reach another area. And when you print with both extruder, then you have to only print on the intersection between both area, which will reduce the build volume. And in that case, in Cura, if you're only using one extruder and you still have this, there's two main reasons. One could be the brim. If you're using a brim, it will automatically make sure that you have enough space to print that brim. So check out if you are printing a brim. Another one could be the skirt. This is another big one. Most likely you have a skirt. Just remove that skirt, or try. Well, in this case, try to put it as close as possible as your part. So anything that is in the setting that is printing outside of your model, Cura is going to count it and is going to offset those limitations. So yeah, just easy to fix that. Just remove your skirt or brim or shorten them so that you can get that 0.7 millimeter additional build space. Safety for use. Hi all, I'm aware that there's a lot of discussion about safety with resin printer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's more for resin. Spooler holder with scale. Anyone got any good suggestion? Been looking for one on Amazon. Spooler holder with scale. Oh, okay. So he is talking about a spool holder that will give the weight of the spool at the same time. I think the Ebox is doing this. I think they have a gauge in their thing. I don't know how accurate it is, but that's one. Let me think. Is there any other? No, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge, but I mean, you can buy a scale. You can buy a spool rack, a spool roller. You put it on top of the scale, and then you tar, and then you put the spool, or you put an empty spool, and then you tar, and then you put the real spool with your filament, and then you have this. maybe that's one solution, and then you just tape everything together. That's the maker way. But yeah, sorry, I don't have any other ideas. Are there heat sinks for the Orbiter Shepra motor? Okay, so that's more hardware. I'm thinking of printing some housing for a gearbox in a matte finish filament for aesthetic. Do you think there is any chance I would get increased friction from matte finish surface, from matte surface finish versus regular PLA? Okay, good question. I'm thinking of printing some housing for a gearbox. But why are we talking about friction if it's just the housing? Okay, so does that mean that the gear spinning rod will be snapped into that housing? So that's why you're worried about the friction. Yeah, I don't know why we're talking about friction if it's just for housing and just for aesthetic. Because if it's not, then it's no more for aesthetic anymore. Then if there is friction, there is heat, there is stress. Yeah, I'm not sure I understood this properly. But let's say we only talk about friction, like whether the friction is higher on matte finish against smooth finish. Theoretically, it should be, because the matte finish means it's rougher, and the regular finish of PLA is smoother finish. So theoretically, yes, but I don't think it should be. If you want very no friction, then I would recommend to switch to nylon. Our Polymaker Copier, for example, could be very, very good for this application. But on one side is for aesthetic, on the other side it's for mechanical use. First, let me check the chat. Maybe it's me that I didn't understand the question properly. Could be a planetary gear system. Tolerance, go smooth. Planetary gear system. Yeah, like for me, housing is just something that go around, right? It has nothing to do with the inside. But maybe I'm wrong. Bang and yeah, there's no wrong stream, Builders Mark. Wrong string. Here's Polymaker. No LM show. Okay, next one. First layer of RAF laid down like this. What should I adjust to fix this? Well, it should be pretty straightforward. I think it's definitely a bed leveling issue. Yeah, I think well, we don't need to spend too much time on this one. It looks like the left part is too high, and the top right part is also too high. So yeah, yeah, I don't know if there is anything else to say. This might be a stupid question. There is no stupid question. Please be aware of this. There is no stupid question. Which one is the positive? There is no wiring diagram, and I need to know so I can install it on my Ender 3. So usually, I'm not an electrician or anything, but usually the red one will be positive, the black one would be negative, and the yellow one might be what, the ground? Yeah, actually I don't know, but what I know is the red one is dangerous, the black one is okay, and the yellow one we don't care. That's how I remember. Yeah, well, the best way, what I do in this case is I plug it, and then I check, and then depending on which way it's going, then I just reverse the plug. But usually I can see that you have this type of plug. This type of plug you cannot make mistake, because you can only plug it in one way. So yeah, don't worry for that. This type of plug should yeah. But again, I'm not an expert into hardware, but I wouldn't worry too much if you can only plug it in one way. The garage is pretty much the only place I can print. How to fight humidity? How to fight humidity? Like it says, the only convenient place for me is to print in my garage. I'm worried about draining the filament, considering in Washington it's quite cold and wet. In my garage isn't finished. How do you follow a similar condition to manage it? If it's for filament, invest into a dry box. If it's for printing, it should be fine. However, you need to have a pretty good connection between your dry box and your printer, because what can happen is it could be hot in the dry box, and then any small gap will create condensation on your filament, and then you will have what we call surface moisture, and this surface moisture will accumulate in the nozzle, and then you will start to have all the moisture issue. So invest in a dry box, good connection between the dry box and the printer, or you put everything into an enclosure, and then problem solved. and then you have a small heater inside, and the heating element won't be for warping issue or stuff like that. It will be more to chase the moisture out of the environment. So just a small heater, and that should solve the problem. I like what he's printing. Maybe not the quality, but the model. Any idea what caused this wiry, fuzzy infill and lines? You know what? We should ask Loyal Moses for that. But when I see this like this, the first thing I think about moisture. I don't know what material he's using. Let's get into this one. But could be PETG. It looks a lot like PETG. But he didn't mention anything, and usually people that don't mention anything means it's PLA. But let's check. Blah 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 blah. Okay, no mention of the material. Okay, so let's make the hypothesis that it's PLA. So it would be strange to be moisture issue. Okay, so what I would say is you can see that we can see the infill through the shell, which means the overlap between the infill and the shell is too high. So you can lower that. There is a setting for that, or you can increase the number of shell so that you have a much better, smoother finish. Because what's going to happen is every time it will overlap, then you will have that extra extrusion that will go outside, and then it will create all of these blobs. And these blobs with the fan is going to create all of this small string. So at the end of the day, it really messes up exactly like your print. Regarding the layer that just didn't print properly, I'm not too sure. Could be an artifact. Could be the accumulation of all of this small issue that they missed. They missed one layer, and then all the layer above had difficulties to print until it goes back to normal. But I would definitely increase the number of shell. That's my final thought. Increase the number of shell, and that should solve the problem. And dry the filament. If it's PETG, definitely I think about moisture. If it's PLA, I don't know, but could be. But definitely dry the filament. Infill look just like that. Buana, yeah, looks like a partial corrode in the past. Yeah, could be it clogged a little bit. If it clogged, it means there is some over extrusion, but we cannot see the other part of the model, so I'm not too sure for that one. Maybe too high acceleration. Yeah, it could be. It could be, especially for the infill. But then it would be more. I'm not sure. It would be more related to the jerk. So the derivative of the acceleration, more than the acceleration. I would guess. Next one. What is the best gradient color PLA? I currently use Eastern PLA Plus. As for me, it provides the cleanest print with good strengths, but they do not make a gradient color. I guess by gradient color, he's talking about the rainbow color, the one that changed color. I think Sunlu has a pretty good one. Polymaker do not have a rainbow color yet, but Sunlu is making a pretty good one. And I think on the LM show, I think sometimes Loyal is showing off some of this color, pretty good color. New to 3D printing, just bought an Ender 3 Pro. What are the best practices for minimizing layer lines and printing for smoother surface? Smoother surface, just print with matte PLA. That's it. Full stop. But joke apart, well, it's not really a joke. Really, if you want to get rid of layer lines, first, you cannot get rid of them. So if you want to minimize it, you will have to decrease the layer height, which I really don't like because it increases significantly your printing time. But just invest in a filament that is meant to have a smoother surface finish. So think about lightweight, for example, is not easy to print, but it definitely has a very, very non-layer surface. Think about matte filament. Think about filament that can be smooth easily, like Polysmooth or ABS with acetone. Think about CF material. CF material also have a pretty good surface finish. So I would think about the material side more than the slicer side. I mean, of course, the higher quality the print, and the less you will see the layers. But yeah, I would think material. Any ideas on polishing very small gears, vapor smoothing, material in shapewear, versatile plastic? Sorry, what? Idea on polishing very small gears, vapor smoothing, material is shapeways, versatile plastic. Yeah, that would depend what is versatile plastic. Versatile plastic might be ABS. So try to put that, try to smooth that with acetone and see if it works. But be very, very careful, because having such a small piece, you could dissolve the piece just by trying to smooth it. So, but I mean, to be honest, the print is pretty good. I don't know why it would require smoothing, but yeah, versatile plastic could be an ABS. Next one, after long overdue replacement of my hot end. Yeah, that's not very good experience. Customer service seems like. I now have severe warping and layer shift issues. Temperature are all the same. Bed is leveled. Any advice? Let me check. I now have severe warping and layer shift issues. So warping, yeah, we know layer shift. Okay, so it could be a weak stepper motor. That would, if you have warping, then the stepper motor will will hit that warped layer, and then if it's a weak stepper motor, then you will skip step, and then he will just every time he come back, he skipped a little bit more, and then you have all of this messy stuff. So after yeah, for this, again, like I said during pretty much all my other stream, watch your print. If you have a problem with a G code, you have no idea where it come from, just restart the same G code, the same printer, same filament, same everything, and just look at it. I mean, it seems that the issue is literally at the beginning. I mean, we're talking about first, second, third layer. So just reprint. It doesn't seem to be a big print. After 10 minutes, you will see exactly what's happening. You will see what part is warping, what part of the hot end is hitting that print, and how is it skipping. You know, a weak stepper motor, even with a too high acceleration, it will already skip step. So yeah, just restart the print and check what's going on. Let me check. Bang hydrate. Yeah, I don't have any water around. Polymaker needs a rainbow. My wife has been printing a ton of it. Fast color change, Polytera would be awesome. Maybe we are working on something similar. I don't have any NOS. I'm sorry for that. Versatile is PA. Oh, okay. If it's a nylon, how to polish nylon? I have no ideas. How to polish nylon? Yeah, I do not know. Maybe just put it in a tumbler. You know, like this kind of spinning cylinder with grits inside. You know, this small stone, and then it will polish the print. That's what we use for PLA or PC or even our nylon. You need special grits though. Let's go. Next one. Is there a Raspberry Pi project? Blah, blah, blah. Cura G-code likes to set my Voxel Lab C2 hot end to 0 for some reason. Okay. So you know it come from the G-code. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Why you would set your hot end to 0 for some reason? I don't know. Maybe check the custom G code, starting G code, to see if there is any issue there, or just add one more after to set it to your. It can set to 0, and right after you just give another command to set to the right temperature. My ABL, is that a material or is that ABS? Let me check. Because the S and the L are pretty far on the keyboard. So is that a real material? Let me check. Because you know, when I don't know if it's a typo or not, I always check my keyboard and check if the key are right next to each other. But the S and the L are literally on the opposite side of the keyboard. ABL polymer. That's something I don't know. Acrylonitrile butadiene lignin. The resulting thermoplastic called ABL is recyclable, can be melted 3 times and still perform well. Okay. What is ABL plastic? Your car bumper is probably made of a plastic called ABS, shorthand for acrylonitrile butadiene styrene component, and then you mix it with lignin, and then you have an ABL, and that's recyclable, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, interesting. I didn't know. So it's an ABS-like, material. Any of you that let me check. Am I the only one that don't know what was ABL? ABL is auto. Oh my god, I'm on live stream and I make this kind of thing. My ABL doesn't work. So many awkward situation for me. Well, at least you know what. Let's check the positive side. At least we just learned a new polymer that is called ABS, acrylonitrile butadiene lignin, which is a derivative of ABS and is also a thermoplastic. But okay, that's why we are doing this together, right? You guys are helping me to reach our goal. My ABL doesn't work. These were printed on the far left and right on the bay immediately after ABL. One is too close and the other is too far similar. Yeah, I mean, if it's auto bed leveling, then something to do with with that auto leveling system. My 2-week-old CR10S Pro made with this beautiful hole. Okay, let's do 2 or 3 more, and then we'll draw the winner. So don't forget, enter "I'm awesome" in the chat for the chance to win a Polymaker spool. Don't forget that, and then we'll do 2 to 3 more, and then we'll draw. My 2-week-old CR10 made this beautiful hole after trying to print something after a 6-day print. It now pushes down the build plate every time, blah, blah, blah. Any ideas why it's doing it, or what could I fix it? I try auto home or measure it. Only way to stop it is pushing off the button. Sorry, what? Made this beautiful hole after trying to print something. What hole? Is that in the middle there? And then it now pushes down on the build plate every time I try to auto home or measure it. Only way to stop it is by pushing off the off button. Any idea on why it is doing it, or why could I do to fix it? Yeah, sorry, I don't understand. I don't even see any hole. Is that the small thing in the middle here? Yeah, I don't understand. Well, it looks like there's 10 comments, so hopefully he has an answer. Anycubic photon, I think that's resin. Is it possible to coat nylon in an epoxy resin to increase strength? Yes and no. Yes, you can coat nylon. It won't increase the strength. However, if you coat nylon, you will prevent moisture absorption. So the nylon is going to keep its dry state, and the dry state of nylon is stronger in terms of tensile strength than the moisture or the moisture condition state. So yes, I think we released a video on YouTube explaining this about the nylon, how to coat the nylon so that it can keep the dry state. Because the more it absorbs moisture, the more it will the lower the modulus, the rigidity, and the higher the toughness. So depending on what you want, if by strength you mean the tensile strength, like the rigidity of the material, then yes. If you mean the toughness, the durability of the material, then no. You are going to prevent or you need to condition it first, and then you can coat it. Okay. Is it possible to coat nylon, blah, 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 and then some metal printing? Okay. So I think we did what? Maybe 50, 40 or 50. I didn't count. Z safe homing not active. Maybe I didn't get the question from the Reddit, so I don't know so much. I'm half asleep, can't recall. Oh, Abdullah. Okay, let's do the drawing before Abdullah fall asleep. Let me share. Sometimes it needs to be applied in G code after probing for it take effect. Yeah. G29, G28. Okay, homing M48. Okay, let me share the drawing screen so that we can draw our winner for today's stream. So, what do you guys think about while I'm setting up this? What do you think about this style of stream, like where I try to answer question? I don't know if I should go deeper on the question, or I should have maybe some part where I just do as many as we can, or I just take one or two and we go a little bit deeper. I will definitely try to avoid this kind of mistake, like the ABL one, or like sharing my screen but nobody can see it. I will try to improve that. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this. I'm thinking about having two different streams. I will do one stream, this kind of style, where I just put the webcam here and then just share Reddit, or we go on the Ultimaker forum, we go on the Loosebot forum, or any other forum, and we just read, and then we just answer everything. And we take like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just answering all of this. And then another stream where it's a little bit more relaxed. I interact a little bit more with the chat. And then we talk a little bit more about 3D printing, the future of 3D printing, the technology itself, maybe a little bit of material science, maybe a little bit, I say, maybe a lot of material science. And yeah, so if you guys like it, then maybe I will introduce a new stream, maybe earlier in the week or something like this. Make a doc somewhere for your viewers can put question in. Yeah, actually, there is, I don't know if it's the best way, but we have the Polymaker community on Reddit, and I usually go through these questions first. Or during this stream, I mean, the usual one, I always answer the question on the chat. So I always put priority people that are in the stream, or people that has posted on our Polymaker Reddit. If you have any other ideas where I can collect question instead of the Reddit or here in the chat, just let me know. On Twitter or Instagram, I usually answer every single question, even if you don't tag Polymaker. If there is our product name, or if there is even whatever name, I usually answer everything. But if it's not efficient enough, let me know. Let me know some ideas where I can collect that. Okay, will Polymaker invent nylon 48? Will function like a really non-hygroscopic nylon. I don't know what's nylon 48. Okay, so let's do the drawing. So we have 16 people, 17 people left that made it so far after all of this question, but we have 26 entries, so there might be some people that won't answer. So let's do the first drawing. In 3, 2, 1, draw. Who is going to be the first winner? Is going to be, congratulations to Robert 954. So Robert, are you still there? Did you fall asleep? What time is it in the US? Let me check. 11. Oh, it's 11 p.m. in the US. Is that correct? Oh, it's so late. Oh, maybe maybe the stream was too long, no? Okay, Robert, are you still here? Robert, please. I give you a few seconds. 10 p.m. Yeah, still a little bit late, no? Do you think? Because for me, it's I usually start at 9:30 a.m. It was easy today because I did it from home. But the office is 30 minutes away, so it should be fine. 3 a.m. Rock Gumshield. Thank you for staying that that late or early for you, early in the morning. Okay, Rob 954 here, 10 p.m. East Coast. So congratulations to you. Please send me your contact information to this email at polymaker.com, or you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram. Yeah, any platform. I'm sending you the email now. Takes some time. Oh, why is not sending my email? Having trouble connecting. Check your internet connection. Why I cannot send? Is there any of you that can send my email? Yes. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all for joining this very special stream. Please let me know again. Try to give some feedback on social media or directly to my email on whether you like this type of stream where we are less interactive, a little bit more on answering a lot of questions. And then we'll create, if I have a lot of good feedback, then I will create an extra stream where we will do that. Congratulations again to Robert for the free spool. Contact me with the diameter, the material, the color, and your contact information, shipping address, and then I will ship the product to you. And also let me know if it's the first time you are using a Polymaker product or not. I would be interesting to know that. Okay, thank you again for everyone for joining this stream, and I will see you next week.